I'll give you the thumbs up when we're live.
Good afternoon, everybody. If you're not sure who I am, I'm Jake Mosier. I'm the Lewis County Clerk, and I'm coming to you today because we've been getting a lot of questions, and I want to finally be able to give everybody an update on when our DMV is going to be reopening, how it's going to be reopening, and just the steps on what our reopening process is going to be. First thing I would like to cover in here is we've been in communication with the state from the DMV commissioner, and this email came out around June 1st, and basically he laid out different guidelines for each DMV as we get ready to enter phase 3. If you've been paying attention to me, to the news, media, everything, we are looking like we will be entering phase 3, by this weekend. That's what we're hoping. But also on June 5th, the New York State Association of County Clerks drafted a letter to the commissioner, and basically the letter said that we appreciate the guidelines that are behind me that I'm going to be going over from the DMV, and as elected officials with our county representative, as long as we have county government approval, health department approval, and we not do any in-person transactions until June 15th, we can start rolling forward with opening up to in-person transactions. So as you see behind me, the state gave guidelines. One of the first ones was that it had to be a limited in-person transaction, and both state and county DMVs will be authorized and should require appointment transactions. And then the other important thing behind me is both state and county offices will be authorized to limit transactions to county residents only. CDL permit tests will resume by appointment only, and Class D, this is your new drivers, they will begin at a later date in alignment with the state reopening. Also, the state discussed that employees must have the appropriate PPE when interacting with the public. Proper social distancing must be observed at all times. I better flip that. There we go. Frequent cleaning and disinfecting, of course, of all areas to keep public and employees safe. And then we just got to be compliant with the New York Forward, the CDC, and New York Health Department. So for Lewis County, what we're going to do is we're going to continue our online, our mail, or Dropbox transactions. So currently, replacing a title, replacement of a lost registration, replacement of registration renewal, registering a vehicle, boat or trailer, plate surrenders, civil penalties, suspension termination fees, driver responsibility assessment, and request driving abstract. These are all can be done through the mail, and they will continue to do through the mail. Our reopening will not affect these transactions at all. What transactions that are going to have to be done in person with the Lewis County DMV, and again, just to make it crystal clear, when we reopen for a limited time, it will be Lewis County residents only. I'll say it right out, just be right honest with everybody. We have a small office. I have a staff of 4 examiners, and I have 1 full-time clerk that does not have DMV credentials. So to be able to allow all our surrounding counties in, if they want to do a DMV, we're going to be stretched to our working resources. And what I have to do is just basically, when we reopen, I want a soft reopening. I want to make sure that the DMV computer systems are working properly, and the easiest way to not inconvenience surrounding counties is that when I open, that we're going to be opening to Lewis County residents only. So for Lewis County residents, the in-person transactions are the upgrade to your Real ID or your EDL or enhanced driver's license. You can apply for your CDL permit. You can replace peeling license plates, registration amendments other than an address change, your license amendments, exchange an out-of-state license for a New York State license, and replace lost or expired license, permit, non-driver ID. Now, for those of you that are worried about your licenses and your registrations, we are still currently under the executive order that extends all licenses, non-driver's ID, and registrations that occurred on May 1st or after until further notice. We've been working with the state for guidance on this to find out a timeline, and currently this is all we're getting is until further notice. Another important thing to remember is your real ID enhancement. So this was the real ID or the enhanced driver's license. This would be to be able to get into government buildings, fly domestically. This deadline is no longer October 1st, 2020. It has been extended a full year to October 1st, 2021. Okay, so now for Lewis County. What I'm doing is we're going to be opening our DMV in various steps. Each step I'm going to have a list of transactions that we're going to be doing. These are not set in stone. I have set it, me and the staff have talked about it, that depending on the workload coming into the DMV, depending on how many transactions we're doing, we have a very dynamic area where I'll be working with local media, and as each transaction comes available, I will be putting it out to all media to let you know, again, what we will be processing. So for step one of Lewis County, which will be starting on June 17th, that is next Wednesday, we will accept in-person transactions for CDL licensing and permits, replacement of peeling license plates, and then I need to just ask everybody that don't call for real ID, enhancement driver's licenses, and no Class D permit testing will be available at this time. Now, just to let you know on our thought process with step one, what reason I am looking at CDL testing is because it's come apparent over the last few weeks that even though New York State is under an executive order, a lot of my CDL drivers that drive interstate across state lines, there seems to be some confusion with other state law enforcement that they are not acknowledging the license that is technically expired, and they're not acknowledging that we're under executive orders where the license is not expired. This also came into with local municipalities, that many times a lot of people are hired with the provisions that they can take a CDL permit test to get permanent position within their municipality. So that's why CDL permit testing is open. And ultimately, reason we're doing our CDL customers is these are the people that are driving and depend on this license for their living. And ultimately, with all our customers, this was an easy section to block out to let them come in to start our soft opening. So once we filter through a lot of our CDL drivers and our CDL permit testing on step one, we're going to enter step two. There's no time giving yet for step two. Again, I said this is a working, breathing document. So it's not like our state with the matrix and and dates and phases and everything else. This is going to be monitored day to day, week to week, to find out what it's going to take for our DMV. So in step two, what we're going to do again is we're going to continue CDL licensing permits. We're going to again continue peeling the replacement of peeling license plates, but we're going to be adding at certain points within this step your real ID, EDL, or enhanced driver's license renewals. We're going to be adding the registration amendment and other address changes. We're going to be adding your license amendments, and we're going to be adding the exchange out of state for a New York State license. Also within this step, we will be opening up motorcycle permit testing for people that are seeking their Class M or MJ license. Okay. Again, at step two, there is going to be no Class D permit testing. This is your new driver learner permit testing. We are not going to be doing that yet at step two. For step three, we're going to do what I previously mentioned, your CDL's licensing permits, your replacement of your peeling license plates, your real ID, your EDL enhanced driver's license, your registration amendment and other address changes, your license amendment, your exchange out of state for New York State license, motorcycle permit testing, and then at step 3 is when we are hoping to enter the Class D permit testing. Again, with guidance from the state, they have been telling us to hold off on Class D testing. I'm hoping that by the time we reach step 3 with our Lewis County DMV, I have clarification on when we will be allowed to do the Class D permit test. So this is going to be the procedure for the DMV. Again, this is going to be set up for Lewis County residents. When you make the call, you'll be asked a series of questions to confirm if you are a Lewis County resident or not. Customers will be calling this new number that we have set up for the appointments. It's 376-9729. Okay, appointments will be taken from Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 3:30 p.m. If you try to call the appointment line before 9:30, you probably won't get an answer. After 3:30, same thing. Please be understanding, a lot of people are going to be trying to call this number, so you may have to make multiple attempts to get through to set up your appointment. We are asking people when you do set up an appointment that you're only doing one transaction per appointment. Again, anything that can be done through the mail, drop box, or online is not going to be accepted through the appointments. Please have a pen and paper ready because we're going to be giving you information that we need you to write down the information. We're asking customers to arrive 10 minutes prior to your appointment. At that point, somebody will be at the door. They will check you in. You'll go into our waiting room where we have chairs spread apart, and you'll wait until the next examiner is ready to see you. And just to cut down on congestion and confusion, we're going to reserve the right that if you are 10 minutes late or after, that we can cancel your appointment. So it's much just like a doctor's office. So we're opening up kind of like a doctor's office appointment. So again, I already covered it, but I'll cover it again. Any transaction that can be completed through the mail will continue to be done that way. And also to note, no walk-ins will be allowed. Okay? If you are missing any documentation while you're doing your appointment, we do have alternative calendars set up with an examiner that will be set aside to be able to do a return visit. So what we're hoping is if you show up for your appointment and for some reason you don't have the right form, if you're missing a little paperwork and you're able to get out that day, we're going to have somebody available where you can come back the same day and complete your transaction. If you can't do it the same day, we'll have an alternative calendar where you can actually schedule an appointment, come back another day to finish your transaction. To go along with that, what we have to do is make sure the paperwork is in order and you have everything complete. It is essential that you go through your paperwork, you look at the questions, and you make sure you have everything available. If you have a question on what needs to be in your paperwork, you have the New York State DMV website. They have all the literature on there for what forms, what you need for your paperwork. I'm going to be working with Lewis County IT where we're going to be hopefully getting something up on the Lewis County website where that will give you some guidance. And ultimately, you can also call the Lewis County DMV and ask a question. Okay, I'm asking everybody, please don't call the DMV to set up an appointment because all you'll do is be redirected to our appointment number, which again is 376-9729. Don't call the clerk's office to set up the appointment. You'll again be asked to call 376-9729 to set up your appointment. And then lastly is, because this is a completely new system for our DMV, of course we're going to have some growing pains. We're going to be adjusting it as it feels fit for our office. So appointment scheduling, appointment hours, and the reopening transactions may change as we adapt to our environment. So as for our car dealers, I need to mention them in this also. So we have car dealers from various counties. So just to cut down on the confusion here, we are not turning out-of-county car dealers away. Most of the time, this is just a drop-off of a packet of 5 to 15 pieces of paper for car transactions. You will still be able to drop off your paperwork in person like we've been doing. Only thing that's changed, and what's changed in the past of the DMV reopening, is we're asking the car dealers that, you know, your runners not stay and wait around for the packets to be completed. Our staff will call you when they're completed, because of the high volume of mail and car dealership work that we've been doing. It's just not feasible with our limited staff to have somebody waiting around for us to complete your paperwork. So just a little checklist for when you're making your appointment. Please make sure you have a pen and paper ready again. Have all your documentation in order before arriving. Please arrive 10 minutes early. And most importantly, you know, I realize this is a stressful time. I realize a lot of people are getting antsy. I realize a lot of people feel the DMV should have never shut down. I realize a lot of people want the DMV to open. My staff has been there every day. They've been processing a lot of times mail transactions through the beginning. We've been doing a lot of dealer work, just not for our normal Lewis County DMV customers, but we've been helping out other counties and around the state to be able to process their dealer work. That I just ask everybody that, you know, you be kind to the staff, you be kind to each other, and you respect each other. And if a staff member does point out that something's wrong with your paperwork and you need to come back, it's not because the staff member just chooses that this is wrong. This is a DMV regulation. We're audited every day. Everything has checks and balances, and everybody needs just to make sure that the paperwork is done and have an understanding when you may have to, you know, when we require more documentation. So that's it for me. If you guys have any questions,
yeah,
I would entertain them.
Yeah, so you said that you have been open in some form of capacity. How is this different from the way you've been open already? What did it look like before June 17th? What's going to
Okay, so up to this point and up to June 17th, we have not done any in-person transactions. So everything has just been done through mail or Dropbox, and we've been people that have been missing paperwork or people that have questions if they've been missing checks. We've been calling them and directing them to drop everything in the Dropbox. So up to this point, the transactions that I listed, like your real IDs, your driver license renewal, CDLs, these have not been able to be completed, especially if you need an eye test or a new picture taken. So the DMV has basically been shut down to all in-person transactions just through the mail.
Okay, gotcha. Also, why is Class D pushed? Why is the state recommending to push back Class D so much?
You know, that's a good question. There's 52 clerks in the New York State County Clerks Association that have been asking the same question. You know, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if the state has a different plan for the drivers, or if the state just realizes that with the reopening of the DMV being shut down for 3 months, in all reality, we don't know how many people have expired. You know, we don't know how many people need to get renewed. And the easiest thing to look at with a Class D is this person has never gotten a permit, so they haven't expired. They don't have an expiration date coming up. They have really no date coming up. So I'm, you know, like I said, we don't really know. To me, what it would sound like is the reason the state's telling us no Class D right now is because they're trying to get the people that have expired through so we can start getting on some sort of timeline to get everybody back current.
So you're planning the first phase of the DMV reopening for in-person transactions for Wednesday, June 17th.
Yep.
Will the appointment line be going live before then, or is that going to be opened on Wednesday morning
Yep.
for appointments, or can people call now to make an appointment?
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for asking that. So our appointment line is going to be going live tomorrow. So tomorrow is June 11th, right? Yeah. So tomorrow, June 11th, our appointment line is going to be going live. We will be taking appointments tomorrow morning starting 9:30. We will be scheduling appointments tomorrow and through the rest of this week for Wednesday of next week.
Thank you.
And then real
Thanks
quick,
for asking that, Nick. Thanks.
and then one more real quick. You said that this is like a breathing document. This is not. So you're saying there's no set date for when stage 2, stage 3
Yeah.
would start.
Yep, so when I say living document, the transactions that I listed on stage 2 it's not going to be like the New York State phases where, we go from phase 1 to phase 2, boom, here we go. While I'm considering stage 2 is like all the transactions that we're going to be doing through there. So when we do CDLs, I mean, honestly, for Lewis County, I don't know how many CDL expirations we have. Talking to the staff, we're getting figures that we could be doing CDL transactions from anywhere from 2 weeks to out beyond, 4 weeks. But with that, we just don't want to limit ourselves to that. So if we're starting to see where we're having openings within the appointment system, we're going to assess the different transactions on step 2, and we're going to start incorporating them in on our scheduling when people call. And then as we incorporate each transaction, that's when I'm going to be reaching out again to you media, probably not a press conference like this, but just a quick little blurb to let people know that we're starting to open up the lines to this. So as much as I would like to just open the doors to the DMV, that's not feasible. I mean, as busy as our DMV is, and as you hear people say how they hate the wait at the DMV and everything else, this is something that I just can't open the doors and start right from scratch. This is, we got to open this up incrementally, soft, and start, getting people through.
And then for car dealers, do they need to call the appointment line as well?
No, car dealers are going to still be able to just do business as normal. Car dealers know the number to contact down there. They know how they do. The only thing that's going to change for car dealers is, like I said, in the past, a lot of times, if they were from away, one of their people would stay and wait around for us to do the paperwork. And unfortunately, with the amount of new car sales being done right now, because I'm seeing that there's a lot of stimulus checks out there. People are buying new vehicles. That our car sales have actually gone up through the office, and it's just taking us more and more time to process through this dealer work.
Okay, I'm good on that. I think I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Nick? Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I hate these, Nick. I hate these.